Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Benzion. Today's daf is Nedarim daf Iyun number 70. The Gemara on the bottom of Samach Terabah Beis, where we left off yesterday, has a question. Bari Rabba, the third to last line. Kiyem licha yom mahu. The husband says to his wife, she makes a neder, I'm mekayem for you today. Mahu. Right, by saying, normally when you're mekayem neder, you say I'm mekayem it, just I'm mekayem neder, which means I'm mekayem it forever. He's not only mekayem it for a day, so it means he's implying that I'm going to make for it tomorrow. So do we say that's what's implied, and therefore he really wasn't mekayem neder? He's just telling you I'm made for it tomorrow, or maybe he didn't say it, and therefore it's like he's mekayem, and you can't be made for the neder. And the Gemara continues on Ayin and Aleph. Here he didn't say it. What if he says I'm made for it tomorrow? Do we say he implied that I'm mekayem it today? Once I'm mekayem the neder, the only way I can be made for it is to show on the kiyum, to go to a chacham to matir the kiyum. The akiyum in Israel yom. The fact that he said I'm made for it tomorrow, he didn't say I'm mekayem it today. He just said I'm telling you what I'm going to be made for. Now, the art school, they're trying to ask the question, the obvious question over here, right? How could you say I'm going to be made for, if I say ki, I'm mekayem it today, which implies I'm made for it tomorrow, or the second case where I say I'm made for it tomorrow, you only have 24 hours. That's clear. We'll learn more about this. You only have 24 hours to be made for the nether. If you only have 24 hours to be made for the nether, who cares if it's implied when I say kim licha yom, I'm made for it tomorrow. Made for it tomorrow, 24 hours have passed. I can't be made for the nether anymore. Or if he says the second case, I'm made for it tomorrow. Made for it tomorrow, 24 hours have passed. So, the article in footnote number 12 on 69b2 deals with this. In the brackets, he says, although the Torah states that a revocation by the father or husband is effective only if he performs it on the very day that he hears of the vow, that might preclude only performing the act of revocation on the next day. But it might not preclude revoking the vow on that day to be effective beginning with the next day. Meaning, if I say something today, which will have ramifications tomorrow, that's not a problem. But for in this latter case, though the revocation does not take effect until the next day, he has nevertheless performed the act of revocation on that day. That is, he has revoked today the vow with regard to whatever will be from the next day onward. Additionally, we must say that the Gemara now is also assuming the very fact that he has confirmed the vow for today does not preclude his revoking it today with respect to the next day. So, basically, this is see the Rush and the Meiri. I didn't see the Rush, I didn't see the Meiri, but I saw the article footnote. And they're basically saying that as long as I speak up today, that's all that's important, right? If I speak up today and say I'm made for it tomorrow, that's okay, even though 24 hours have passed. Now, I don't think that's the right answer. I think it's much simpler than that. A lot of my chidushim are very simple chidushim. If you go back to the Mishnah, the beginning of which parak? Konam Yai in the 8th parak. Let's go back to the Mishnah. We're in the Mishnah daf Samach. Samach Amar Aleph, the beginning of the parak. Konam Yayim Shnei Tom Hayom. Eino Esar Al Shetechsha. When you say the word Hayom, right? You're at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Right now it's 11:05 in the morning. I say if I'm not going to answer wine today, or I'm going to say I'm mekayem the neder for today, right? I'm mekayem it Shetechsha. When you say Hayom, it doesn't mean 24-hour period. That the Mishnah says later on Daf Samach that you say Yom Echad. If you say Yom Echad, that's a 24-hour period. The Gemara says Hayom is Shetechsha. That's the accepted opinion. So transferred over here, what's the language of the Gemara? Kiyam licha Hayom, right? You have Miyom for Hafar's done. You have a 24-hour period. That's pretty clear. You have a 24-hour period. I think that's the accepted halacha, right? Miyom el yom, the Torah says. You have a 24-hour period, but unless, right, you took the neder exactly 1 minute after Shkia, right? So then it was 24-hour period when you said Ayom. It still wouldn't be 24-hour period. It was 23 hours and 59 minutes. Still, there's a possibility. When I say Shkia, there's no way that you can have it, right? Since I'm taking the neder Hayom, it has to be after Shkia, so it's the next day. So therefore, it's not a 24-hour period. And by saying Kiyam Licha Hayom, that's only until tomorrow at Shetechsha. But then the next minute is Mufar Lichi, which is the next minute afterwards, or the 24-hour period. You still have to make for the nether. So it's much simpler than what the article, the Rosh or the Meiri is saying. It's just Kiyam Hayom, right? implies Yachetechsha, they'll say it's like a chavim or till Shkia, and therefore you still have the 24-hour period. So therefore that's what the Gemara is saying. If I say Kiyam L'chayayom Yachetechsha, only for another, I don't know, 6 hours until Shkia tonight, so that means after 6 hours. If it implies, that's the Gemara's question, does it imply that I may for it after 6 hours, which is within the 24-hour period? So it's not a problem with 24-hour period. The Gemara's only question is when you say Kiyam Yom, do you mean to say I'm not really Makayim it now? I'm just telling you I'm going to be made for it tomorrow, made for it after Tech Shach, after Shkia, or even if you'll say that language tells you Makayim it, but what if you say I'm made for it after tomorrow, right? Does that say like a Makayim it now, right? And then in which case I can't be made for it after Makayim. I have to first be Shol on the Hakama. That's a simple explanation of this Gemara. I don't have to get so deep into this Gemara. I think it's very simple. I don't. Maybe the other Rishonim that say like me. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.